Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I am here today with our next box in my same album, different measurements series. To refresh your memory, we made this box on Boxed Wednesday last month, and then I made a mini album to go in it, right? And the mini album was 4.5 by 4.5. But then we resized it so you could use your 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper. And so this one was 4.25 by 4.25. Well, we resized it again. Watch this, how adorable this little guy is. I can't. This is 2.25 by 3.25, so it can fit our 2 by 3 pictures perfectly. How sweet is this? I cannot with how cute this is. So it's the same album, right? And for this one, you are, depending, if you're going to add the pictures, I wouldn't even mat because your photos are going to take up almost the entire page, right? So I wouldn't even mat the insides. I would just have like maybe mat this and of course the little flaps, but not the insides. Unless you have like the super small pictures, this would be great for those pictures that you get, on picture day, and they have like those itty bitty pictures you don't know what to do with. This would be great for that. Or great for like a little bit of journaling. The same spread that we have in all of our books. Remember, here was our Christmas one. The same spread, just smaller. And then this one had the same. So once you have an idea for a album, don't be afraid to just resize it. Look at that. Look at, you got your daddy and you got your baby son. Isn't that cute? I can't with how cute this is. So, and even just changing the paper changes the look of these albums, right? Well, the 2 by 3, I think it's my favorite because I love everything tiny. So I'm just putting these back. And then you have the same, we have our same little flaps as well. Our pocket that you can put whatever you want in there. You can add more pictures. Oh no, I glued my pocket down a little bit. There we go. Be careful with your glue. So you can add a bunch of stuff, a little picture or a little journaling to go with this picture. How sweet is this album? I cannot with how cute it is. And again, we still have plenty of room for pictures. We still have the interaction. We have our flips. We have our flaps. We have our 4 flat page layout if you wanted to. Same album, different measurements. Super cute. Okay, here's the tutorial. I got the prototype here for placement, and I have the original one too. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me move my keyboard, excuse my arm. All right, so we are going to need, let's see here, one piece, which is 3.25 by 4 7/8. So I'm going to cut this to 3.25 because I know that's my length. And then we need to cut it to 4 7/8. So that's going to be our biggest one. Let's put that on the bottom. Our next one is going to be 4 3/4. 3.25. So that's our middle one, so put that away. And then our last one, the length is still the same, it's still going to be 3/4 or 3.25, excuse me, by 4 5/8. 135. That's the mark between the 1/2 and the 3/4. And these measurements are in the description box. And they're correct because that's what I'm going off of right now. So hopefully they're correct. All right, so on the long side, you are going to score at 2 1/4 on both sides. So score it on the long side, rotate it around, and do 2 1/4 again. On the instructions I put, no, this is not a mistake, because it's not. 2 1/4, rotate 2 1/4. This album fits the 2x3 pictures from the HP sprocket. Take your last piece and 2 1/4, rotate it around, 2 1/4. Okay, let's go ahead and put these together, and then we'll cut our pockets and our flaps. All right, so first what we're going to do is varnish, and we're going to make sure it lines up correctly. I don't know why sometimes it doesn't line up correctly, but it doesn't. Okay, so there's one. That's the bottom. This is the middle. Making sure that this piece is lined up with the bottom piece as you varnish. Same thing here. Okay, and just move that around a little bit back and forth. Trying to get that paper used to those score marks. And now we need to do the baby 1/8 of an inch, which sometimes is a pain. I'm not gonna lie. But the book comes out so cute, so it's worth it. All right, so there's one and two. Right. Okay. Now you can stack them by doing biggest to smallest, smallest to biggest, whatever makes you more comfortable. I'm going to use my score tapes, I think. If I can find them. Had actually put them away. That's why I couldn't find them. All right, I'm using my 1/8 of an inch and my 1/4 inch. All right. So on my largest one, I'm gonna put my 1/4 inch score tape. This just gives you like an easier guide. You can always do glue, but this puts it right in the center, so you don't have to guess. You can, you can see it at this point. And if you don't get it exactly in the center, like I just didn't, it's fine. Just move your book around. Okay, take your next largest piece, and you're going to get that in the center as best as you can, edge to edge. Okay. And then my last one, I'm going to use my 1/8 of an inch, and I'm going to get that right down the middle, in between those two score lines, as best as I can. Okay, make sure that's burnished in. Alright, make sure you don't have any overhang, and then get this in the middle. So I just got my voice back, so it's coming and going. Alright. So you should see a little bit of the previous page when you're putting it down, or you can put it down like this. This one's just a little bit more tricky because it's a little baby. Okay, and I can't really see like where my I'm kind of far away from like my arms are almost extended, so it's hard for me to see. All right, so just kind of move your book around, make sure everything's aligned. It looks great. Okay, I just like to open my pages, make sure they're pagey. There we go. Okay, let's do our pockets. Now our pockets are tiny, but it's worth it. All right, so pockets are 1 3/4 by 3 1/8. Let's see. Yeah, I can use this paper. So 1 3/4. Yes, my paper already has a score line from something else, but that doesn't bother me because I'm going to cover it up anyway. So 1 3/4 by 3 1/8. And 3 1/8. No, I didn't even use that piece. All right, so these are our little baby pockets. Now, you're going to score these on 3 sides. Once on the short and on either side of the long. So rotate, you know, just a regular pocket. Once on the short side, 1/2 inch. Measurements are in the description box in case I forget to tell you. Oh, come on. What are you doing here? And then on either side of the long side. All right, let's go ahead and put our pockets. Now, this little book, I'm going step by step instead of just having everything ready because it's so small and I just want to make sure the measurements are correct in the description box. Because I type them all out first and then I do the tutorial after I type them to make sure that it's actually correct. Because I'm human. All right. And sometimes when I work out these measurements, it's in the middle of the night. And sometimes they are not accurate. So by me using what I typed out during my tutorial, that lets me know they are accurate. All right. And one more. Okay. So, I mean, they worked out when I did my prototype. Let me show you guys the madness. Here's the madness. Like when I got this idea to do this series, this is what I do. Look at the madness. This is something else. But this is what I do. I find any piece of paper I can write on and start scribbling and going. Just random. These don't even belong here. I don't even know what these are for. Okay. Same box, number 2. Oh, these are the boxes that go along with my albums. Oh, I forgot I did that. I did these before I went on vacation. All right, so I do have the box measurements. I didn't think I had the box measurements, but I do. Lucky duck me. All right, anyway, so that's the madness that happens in this brain. Right, pockets. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut on the diagonal. I'm being very generous with my diagonal cut because you don't want your flaps touching each other, in which mine overlapped. That is probably gonna happen to you too because this is such a small pocket. All you have to do is cut off more until they do not touch. I'm gonna cut a little off that. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna do the same for the other one. Cut on the diagonal, cut on the diagonal, varnish in your lines, varnish in your lines, varnish in your lines. They overlapped. I'm gonna cut some off. And I'm cutting off a tiny bit off of that. Okay. Yes, I could have made the measurements a 1/4 of an inch instead of half, but I like to work in 1/2 inches. It's just easier for me to deal with. It's easier for me to cut stuff off. So it's easier for me to math. All right. go ahead and remove your tape, or if you're using glue, now is when you want to glue. Make sure you don't have any overhang. And just like our prototype here and our original book, we need the pockets on the front cover and the back cover. So let's go ahead and open our book and on the front cover. Now my pockets, I intentionally made them smaller because I don't want to have to worry about if my pocket is going to fit on my page, if it's going to be too close to the score mark. I don't want to deal with that. And so I make my pockets smaller on purpose. This one I did not lay very nicely. Okay. It was all types of crooked. It was ridiculous. All right. Yes, it's upside down. I work better when things are upside down. Now it's perfect. Okay. I do have my undo remover here. That's why a lot of times I like to work with score tape too, because you can use undo and that will undo your score tape. You can peel it off. And sometimes I do, because I like to work upside down, I will mess stuff up. So yeah, I need a lot of undo. Actually, it's on sale at their website right now. I have another video on it you guys can see. All right, so I'm gonna work my pocket. There we go. Varnish it in. I just had to make sure I did it the right way as I'm sitting here talking. Okay, so my pockets are on. Woohoo! Now we're gonna do our flap, which is going to be this flap here and this flap here, okay? So those flaps measure, you need two of them, 2 1/4 by 2 1/2, and scored on the long side at half. Gotcha. All right, let's see what we got over here. Okay, so 2 1/2 by 2 1/4. Two and a half by 2 1/4. Okay. Ooh, I just made that when I eyeballed that. I was hoping it worked. And then on the long side, so the 2 1/2 inch side, we're gonna score that at 1/2 inch on both of them. Okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and decide if we want rounded corners, or whatever you want. I'm probably just gonna round the, just the flaps. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I need my corner jumper. I'm gonna use the 1/4 inch, and I'm gonna round my corners. So this gives you a chance to catch up on measurements if you need to. But yeah, I'll finish that later. I'm just gonna round just my flaps, not the not where the hinges. All right, and these ones, because this box is so small, I probably will, yep, I did. I'm gonna miter these, but I'm gonna put my tape on first. It's easier to put tape on a rectangle than it is on a mitered diagonal corner. All right, so there's that, and there's that. Okay. These books do go super fast when you're not doing the tutorial, as I always say. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just do all of them. Yes, I have to do each one separately because well, first of all, they're slightly off from each other, so you want to make sure they're even. And my corner trumper is on its way out. All right. So on our first page, over here is where we need our flap. just like we have it here. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna miter my corner. So I'm just taking off a tiny bit. This is just to take away some of the bulk. Okay. Here we go. And we're gonna go ahead and put this wherever you want to put it. If you want to put it in the exact middle, you want to put it towards the top, towards the bottom. I just hope for the best when I put mine down. It just lands where it wants to, and I don't complain about it. Look at how cute that little flap is. All right, so now we need to go to the back of our book and do the same thing here. Okay, and we're gonna miter a little bit and miter. Okay, we're gonna take our tape off and we're gonna put it on this side here. Again, as best as you can, center it, put it towards the top, put it towards the bottom, whatever you want, wherever it lands. All right, so cute. Okay, now you need to do your other flaps. So you need 4 flaps. And let me get those measurements. And they are 2 1/8 by 3 1/2, scored on the long side at 1/2. Okay, let's move all of our stuff out of here. Move my drink to the other side. So 2 1/8 by, what did I say? 3 1/2. All right, so I'm gonna cut the 3 1/2 side first. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and score that because it's the long side. Well, it will be the long side. Score it at 1/2 inch. Then I'm gonna cut them down on 2 1/8. 2 1/8. 2 1/8. Oh, we have just enough. And 2 1/8. Perfect. So all of mine are already cut and scored. So 2 1/8 by 3 1/2 scored on the long side at 1/2 inch. You need 4 of those. All right, we can go ahead and tape and burnish. Where's my tape? Okay. And we're just gonna tape. I guess I could have taped all of them when I cut it at the 3 1/2, but I didn't think of that. All right, here we go. So those 4 are ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and miter all 4 of them again to kind of cut that bulk. And I learned a new tip from Kathy Orta King, Paper Phenomenon. When you're mitering things that it's important for the score line, like where you need to know where the score line is, start from the score line. Normally we miter like this, we start from the top and go to the score line, but you can cut over the score line by accident. So if you just miter from the score line up, then you're not cutting that score line. I'm trying to make it a habit to do this more often because it just makes so much more sense. But sometimes I do it the other way. You just have to be very careful not to cut your score line. Okay, so let's get our original book. And I know we need a flap on this page here that comes down. So open it. I need to round the corners. And I made these so there is a gap between the top of the paper and the flap. Just because I like I like borders. But you can make them longer, obviously. Where's my other felt? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Make sure I'm on the correct page. And it's a flap on the bottom. Again, you're going to center it. I'm going to go ahead and make that flap round, or that corner rounded on the bottom. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to flip our page, and this is our center, so we have one on the top and one on the bottom. So this is going to be my top. I'm going to round that corner. I still have my tape backing on, so this one will be a little easier. Okay, so it needs to go on the top, so it opens like this. Okay, but I need to work differently. There we go. Now we need our flap on the bottom. So this one's going to come up like this, and again I'm going to just round that corner. You can round all 4 corners if you want your flaps to match. I did on this book. I rounded all 4 corners, but I didn't want to on this one, so it's your choice. All right, so we have our flaps, and then you're going to turn the page, and we need our flap on top on the right. Okay, so on top on the right, and I'm gonna round this corner. All right, so I'm putting it on the top. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so that is the whole little notebook. We are all done with it. How super cute is that? We're gonna go ahead and make our matching box. So the cardstock that we need is going to be 6 3/4 by 5 3/4, which I already have it cut out. Because to be honest, I already made the box, but it was a little bit too small, and I was afraid you wouldn't be able to put pictures, and so here we are. The measurements in the description box are correct to what we're making right now, so hopefully this one fits. All right, so 6 3/4 by 5 3/4, and on the long side, we're gonna score at 3/4 and 3 and 3 3/4 and 6. Should be 6. Yep. 3/4, 3, 3 3/4, and 6. We're going to turn it on the short side, and we're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 1 1/4 on both sides. So 1/2 inch and 1 1/4. So that is 1/2 inch, 1 1/4, 4 3/4, and 5 1/2. Okay. So, all right, our normal box routine. Put your double score lines on the top. You don't need the 4 boxes on the bottom right. And you don't need the ones on the top right. If you need a slower tutorial for the boxes, I do a box video every Wednesday. I have a playlist. It is called the Boxed Lunch Series, and that is just about making boxes. Alright, so we're going to cut score line, cut off about half, and miter, which I did not do, and miter, and miter. Scissors are sticky, which is weird because these are the Teflon scissors. Miter and miter. We're going to do the same to the other side. Oh gosh, that was not nice. And we're going to cut up, cut off, miter, miter, cut up, cut off, miter, and miter. Okay. Put our box together. I'm shaky today. Put our box together. I'm finally mending from this crazy sinus infection I had. So you'll see some videos after this one where I'm still super sick because I recorded them before I recorded this one. And last one here. There we are. Alright, so glue, if it's not clogged, which it is, or you can use tape. Alright, unclog that. Where's my towel? I always have backup towels because I don't like my hands dirty. Alright. And we're going to go ahead and glue. Oh, come on, glue, don't do it to me. I knew it was going to do that. That's okay, I have a towel. There we go. Alright, so now we're just going to close our box and actually give our glue some time to dry. Oh, my magnets are stuck to my corner chunker. Alright, so I'm going to chop the corners of my flaps. And we're done with our box. Let's make sure it fits before we decorate. Make sure my glue is dry. You know what? It looks like my flap went over a little bit. I'm just going to cut that off because it's just going to annoy me. It's not a big deal. But it would have annoyed me. And you know what? I'm pretty sure I did. I glued my flap down. That's why it was off, because it had an extra flap in there. That's okay, my glue is still a little bit wet, so I was able to get it out. It's not going to matter, like, honestly, if I could have left it in there. It would not have mattered. Alright. There you go. I'll get all that glue off of that off camera. Let's just take a second with one of the little glue erasers. Okay. Make sure my album fits. And it does perfectly in there. and it is a perfect little box. So we're gonna go ahead and decorate it. Okay, and I had already pre-cut this piece, but apparently I cut it too small. How did I manage that? I have no idea how I managed that, but it did. So, and I already put that paper collection away. So we are definitely going to use this and then piece. So, see, you guys get to see the bloopers. So what we're gonna do, because I have 9,000 things to do today, I don't have time to stop and rethink anything today. So I gotta work with what I have. Okay, so I'm gonna put this and then on here. And that honestly was on my side table. I think it just fell out of the pack when I was putting it away, which worked out perfectly. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and just cut that down a little bit. So I'm gonna do it 2.5. And we're just gonna paper piece. Yep. All right. So we're gonna put that on. Like so. And then I want this little record player there. And I guess we could have popped him up, but I'm gonna keep it flat. I was using it on a different project and I didn't like it on that project, so that's what you see on the back there. And maybe we're just gonna put the record player right down here. Like so. Perfect. All right, so there is our box. You can always do your little finger pull if you want to. Excuse my arm. As usual, my classic style, I forget about these things. But as you can see, it doesn't really matter when you do it. All right, I'm gonna put our little book back in and close it. And there we are. Look at how adorable this is. And this fits those 2x3 pictures. And there you go. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.